accomplishment, but something I'm very, very happy about was that we didn't have any investments go down in September. I think we were lucky. I mean, that was a scary time. So we got through that, and I hope that the worst of that is behind us. As far as property tax, I feel good about that. We always need to gel. Everybody's like a machine in there. We just got done with our collection last week, and that all went very smooth. We're getting a lot more cash than we normally do. That's been happening, which complicates it. It just takes more time to wait on the customers when that happens. The other thing we did was we did the business license ordinance last April, and that was great. That hadn't been rewritten for 50 years, so that was a big accomplishment. Yeah, that was a big accomplishment because I think it helps the way that we can deal with the businesses now. It just makes it a lot easier, and we're transitioning from the old one into the new one. The other thing I think that we've done this year between the DAs and county council and administration, we've got a plan in place to address anybody that is delinquent with room occupancy tax, because that's been a major problem this year. And so we do have that right now going to the DA. We have 2 cases that will be prosecuted in January, I believe.
Yeah, and at this point, our investigative staff is descending on the coast with quite a list of investigation to complete the cases, so we will win the cases. Because there's still more to be done. Sherry's helping out with that, but we've committed almost all our investigators to spending the entire week doing nothing but those cases.
And that involves other...
Heritage House and Upcove Inn, and their failure to pay.
What about the other possibilities that might exist out there for the same type of situation?
Where they're actually delinquent?
Yeah.
There are none to that magnitude. We have what we're doing now is if anything gets 2 quarters behind, it immediately is going to, it already has been going to county council. But what we're doing in addition to that is immediately going to the DA's office, and there are none right now. I think there's one really, really small one that's probably more shut down than anything that county councils have. But other than that, there are none that are 2 quarters delinquent.
Oh, one other question. Are you working at all with Sue Ranachek on the reassessment possibilities that are going on out there for property taxes, etc.?
We're not really involved in that process too much.
And I don't see Sue here today to ask about it, so. Okay.
I'm going to participate in the fact that I'm just going to review. We had, in our 2008 action plan, 11 fiscal workshops, budget workshops that were scheduled throughout the year, and you can pick one of them. One of the biggest accomplishments for the county this year and for the board was the fact that we had adopted a consolidated master fee schedule, which has been working very well, and it's brought a lot of coordination and a lot of different perspective into the fee process and in coordination with our budget. I feel that we've made a lot of strides during the year to report out to the board and the mini workshops, although a lot of them were productive. Some, were good discussions, and I think that was a good accomplishment for the board this year.
For the library, in January, we're a very small department. We lost a key member of our staff after a short battle with a brain tumor. And so that influenced the whole rest of the year. I served as Ukiah head and system head until September of this year. Despite that, I'm very pleased to report that we're about 18% busier than we were last year, which is considerable. And we've done that with not filling positions still, so and we're not going to unless we can afford it. So I'm very pleased with that the public is using us. We had an internal renovation of the Ukiah Library. You guys who've never been in it should come in and see. And I'm very pleased to report that the new Round Valley Library should be in its new building in their projected August due to a $100,000 donation from the Thomas Long Foundation. Pretty remarkable. And Sydney Long said she was going to talk to the rest of her relatives, so they're looking at even more money to open up that very, very important branch. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And finally, something that you won't see as a big splash, but we are much more consistent in our policies and our procedures, and so that people walking in the door, wherever they walk in the door in any of our branches, will get the same consistent service, which I think is essential as a county department.
Thank you, Mallory.
Okay, I think with the agency this past year, we've worked on integration and partnerships, and certainly integration within the agency, particularly this past year between social services and mental health. And we've actually saved 18 staff positions this past year with our merging of mental health and social services and aligning the adult services. Also this past year, with the help and partnership with County Council, the tobacco ordinance was rewritten. With emergency medical services, of course, the board authorized the additional $200,000 for the EMS providers. And then we also are beginning our AED program. Also this past year, we applied for and received a grant with social services and homeless services, and we received $2 million for a 5-year period, which I think is a really big accomplishment for the agency. Also, we designed a model for a public health lab that works in partnership with not only Sonoma County's public lab, but with Ukiah Valley Medical Center. And we now are merging our lab services with Ukiah Valley Medical Center, which is really a state-of-the-art and best practice. It's something that hasn't been done in other counties. So we're really pleased we got the approval from the state. We're moving forward with that. Also, in regards to marijuana, as you all remember, we did a symposium on the impacts of marijuana in the community. That happened in Willits and was very well received by the community here in the county. And then also something that we developed over this past year, which we're waiting for the auditor's approval before we can implement, and we think that's right around the corner, is the online dog license renewals for animal control. So I think overall, the broad spectrum of agency services, we've done a lot with this board's support over the past year, and hopefully we'll do more over the next couple of years.
Thank you.
A couple things. I was kind of doing it by division, but I'm just going to say them. I was really happy that the Mill Creek Dam claim is settled and now off the books. It's taken 4.5 years that is completed, so that was a big relief for my staff. We also were able to conduct emergency evacuations, the very first ones this past year for all county departments. There'll be a regular annual event with all departments, so that was a major accomplishment for us as well. The microwave project is our biggest accomplishment. I had basically everyone you could possibly think of in the General Services Agency, all divisions working on this project together with the Sheriff's Department. It's been a real long haul, a real effort, and I'll be presenting all that to y'all tomorrow. And including the T1 project, we were a little over ambitious and decided to do that at the same time, so we've been doing both of those projects this year. Something that's going to come to the board next year, but it's a reflection of this year, and this board's hard work is every 2 years the general liability receives an audit, and an actuarial study is completed as a result. We have a county ordinance that states you will be at a 70% confidence level in that program in order to be self-insured up to $150,000, which is what we are. We've never been at that level. And so this board, every 2 years, has directed myself to work with the CEO's office to establish that level, and I believe we will be at that level and possibly above after this report is finished from CSAC. So that means next year I am able to reduce contributions paid into the general fund. I expect there to be about a $1.7 million reserve in general liability.
And that will be the first time?
Yes, ever.
That's a heck of an accomplishment.
Well, it was in the deficit when I first got there.